They say a man's home is his castle, but they never tell you the moat is filled with HOA regulations. I woke up one morning to the sound of bulldozers, not birds. Peeking outside, I saw my perfectly paved driveway being torn to shreds. No warning, no letter, just destruction. A frantic call to the HOA president, a smug woman named Carol, revealed their grand plan, a new community garden. My driveway, apparently, was an acceptable sacrifice for their pet project. They had rerouted it, they said, to a narrow, winding dirt path that snaked around the back of my property. My jaw hit the floor. This wasn't just an inconvenience. It was a deliberate, arrogant act of dispossession. I told Carol this was unacceptable, illegal even. She just laughed and said, "Read your bylaws, sweetie. We own the common areas." That night, I didn't sleep. I pored over those bylaws every single page, my anger simmering into a cold, hard resolve. And there it was, buried in Section 9, Subsection C. Any alteration to common areas requires unanimous consent from all adjacent property owners. Unanimous. The next morning, I didn't call a lawyer. I called a surveyor. For 2 days, his team worked, planting tiny flags and drawing lines. Carol and the HOA board watched from a distance, smirking, assuming I was wasting money proving the obvious. But I wasn't surveying my property line. I was surveying the entire proposed garden plot. The surveyor's report was my Declaration of Independence. It confirmed that the so-called common area for their garden included a 2-foot-wide strip of land that belonged to my quiet, elderly neighbor, Mr. Henderson, the one person they hadn't bothered to bully or consult. I walked over to his house, report in hand. I explained everything, how they'd trespassed and planned to build on his land without permission. Mr. Henderson, a man of few words but deep principles, simply nodded. The following day, as the construction crew prepared to lay the soil, a single, solitary, no trespassing sign appeared, hammered firmly into the ground on Mr. Henderson's 2-foot strip, right in the middle of their precious garden plot. The project screeched to a halt. Carol was furious, but legally, she was trapped. Her grand vision was bisected by a barrier of legal fact. She couldn't bulldoze. They had rerouted my driveway, so I rerouted their entire project straight into a dead end. My original driveway was restored within a week, paid for by the HOA's contingency fund. If this story resonated with you, if you've ever felt small against a big power, a simple like on this video means more than you know. It's a quiet nod that says we're not alone. Remember this, the loudest voice doesn't always win the argument. Sometimes, the win comes from a quiet truth, a forgotten detail, and the courage to stand not just for yourself, but for the silent neighbor next door. True strength isn't about the noise you make, it's about the ground you refuse to give up.